All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Reason why I choose kind of this different music is because I that's my theme song for 2021. I don't know about y'all, but it is my time. It's my time to rise. It's my time to do it. It's my time to have it. 2021 is my time. I hope that you ladies that are on here, and if there's any guys on here, but it's mostly just ladies out here doing it on this crypto and coffee and crypto. But it's our time. This is it. It's our time, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. Not just about it being our time, but about being your time to get involved in this crypto market. Because I don't know about y'all, but I wake up every day, and let me go back in a second. But I wake up every day. I have no rhythm whatsoever. I cannot dance. I don't care if the beat is slow. I'm gonna miss it. Somebody could be holding my hand, my husband be holding my hand trying to dance with me, and I can mess both of us up. But I get up every morning and I do what I call now the crypto dance, because I look in my portfolio and I see what's going on. So let me introduce to you, ladies, my beautiful friend, my beautiful co-host, and my sister, because we have built a crazy, crazy, crazy relationship in the last few months. Francis.
What's up? Great morning. Man, look, listen, I'm on here with coffee and crypto kind of hair because my priority today was laundry, which is the biggest scam in the world. Okay. I dislike it heavily. I'm just put that out there, but it got done, right? Because that was a priority today. And then next it was coffee and crypto. So my name is Francis. I'm a mom. Like Pam said, that's really just the theme this year. Like, it's my time. I feel like everyone that's around us, it's their time. And it looks different for all of us, but one common theme is it's our time, right? Crypto is also really common for us because we finally have found like this group of people that are curious like us, who want the education like us, and who just know, like, I don't know what it is. I don't really know that I know what I'm looking for, but I know it's my time. But this is one thing I keep hearing about. And so that's kind of how I got introduced to the information just about crypto, about everything. And the truth is, I come from financial services. So the conversation was already attractive to me, but I didn't really understand it because I'm taught to know money, the US banking system way of knowing money. And I understand as a minority, I'm a Latina, that there just weren't certain money conversations that I was included in. And so today we just want to make this fun. We just want to make it super informal, laid back. Like, look, I'm on here with mom hair. I did get coffee. We're doing the right thing. So it tastes really plain because there's only oat milk in it with no kind of sweetening, anything. And it just tastes like oat milk and nitro coffee. So I'm going to do with that. But we just want to include you today and make this fun, make it educational, and just let you know that it can be your time too. So no matter where you are, what you're doing, you can choose for this to be your time as well. So thank you, Pam. I'm excited to be on here. Let's kick this off. I'm just excited.
First of all, can we all take a moment and bow our heads in prayer for Francis Coffee, her said coffee? Listen, Francis and I have goals. We're also accountability partners. We have an event coming up in the end of July, and we are like, okay, 2020 was the year of let's get fluffy. 2021 is going to be the year of getting fine. So right. While she's drinking said oat milk coffee, I'm drinking celery juice with a tad of pineapple just so that I don't gag.
Right? So that you don't taste the salty celery.
Right. Why y'all doing that? Why y'all doing that? First of all, no. I like being fluffy. Y'all ain't gonna make me feel bad for using sugar and honey and agave, and I'm gonna be fluffy as hell in July. Okay, y'all gonna take all this. Y'all gonna take all this fluffy in 2021. Now 2022 is a different story. But right now, the year is half done. Y'all ain't know that's the devil. I'm telling y'all right now. We can talk coffee, crypto, and getting it together, but not today. Y'all ain't gonna make me feel bad today. Okay. It's my birthday. Okay. I'm gonna eat the cake.
Happy birthday.
I'm gonna drink the pina colada. Okay, y'all see this birthday hair? Y'all ain't gonna make me feel bad. Put some sugar in that damn coffee today.
Girl, I was at the drive-thru like, hey, Sam, great morning, it's me. And she was like, you want the usual? No, I don't. Can you leave out the pumps of the white chocolate, please?
Can you leave out anything that resembles chase and happiness?
Right? But it's okay. It's my time. And I understand that. And I understand it takes sacrifice.
Listen, ain't nothing wrong with being fluffy. There's some realities of what's going to happen in the next 60 days. The next 60 days is we have a lot of life going on. We have a lot of business going on. And, today I'll be drinking celery juice. Tomorrow I'll be eating birthday cake with my grandson. So it's called balance. It's called balance. But listen, y'all, I love, Francis and I both love this platform this time, in addition to doing presentations and talking about our amazing, amazing academy. This gives us a kind of informal space to just chit chat. It feels like, hanging out with the girls and, just kind of, instead of talking about, oh, this man did this and this, man, we talking about money.
Okay.
We're talking about how to get ours, how to get more of it, and how you can get some of it too. So today, our topic is the difference between a market correction versus a market crash. This is a great topic because everybody is in my inbox as if I'm some, 50-year expert, but and wanting to know what's going on with the market. Should I be freaked out? And we've been talking about this for a couple of days because it seems to be an endless conversation. And I know I'm in a lot of different crypto groups because I just want to hear what's going on in those crypto streets. But that seems to be like everyone's panicking, and you're seeing all these panic sells and everyone wondering, am I going to lose my savings? Am I going to lose my portfolio? Which, by the way, you should never have all of your money in any investment vehicle. But so let's talk about that, Francis, and let's just, get down and dirty.
Yes. So can we shout out, right? Can we shout out Miss Bobby though? Like, okay, this woman is a deputy sheriff, y'all, killing the markets and helping so many people. But wait, she's also a full-time hairstylist. I'm done because I'm just done. She's all up in here with the uniform and everything. Like, somebody needs this conversation today. So shout out to you. Like, this is why I love conversations like this. You get to meet like real boss women that are not afraid to have big conversations. And maybe this is new for you, but I just want you to know, like, they program us to accept minimum. You're not here for minimum. I don't care what you've gone through. You're not here for minimum, period. So let's talk about this market correction. But I had to shout her out because she's right there on my screen. And I'm like, yes, Bobby, come through. Yes. So I think, one of the biggest problems, I think, is that because there's a lot of misinformation, people relate like what happens in the stock market to like cryptocurrency or Forex. And while markets do similar things in cycles, crypto does not move like the stock market. We're talking about $1 billion market, comparing it to crypto, which already is moving trillions through it, right? So that's one thing I always like to tell people is I understand you might know a little about the stock market, but all of the same things don't necessarily apply. Market structure and different things as you learn how to read charts and, will be the same. So let's talk about it, because a correction is not a crash, right? If we look at like exact definitions, a crash is when we see such a sharp decline that it happens in like a day or in a week's time frame. But when we look at a correction, this is generally happening because the market has to test different levels. And when we look at, okay, if the market is correcting itself, because here's the truth. When you look at statistically over periods of time in the past, when the market has gone through correction, meaning it has to test out new low levels so that it can hit the next high level. That's just what it does. I mean, we're talking about money moving in the markets. We're not talking about, we talked about this yesterday on Cocktails and Crypto, about people running from a sale. The only place they run from a sale is the market. But if Aldo says, yo, 90% off all the shoes, I'm buying the winter ones, the summer ones, all of them. Okay. If the kids' daycare is like, listen, we're going to give 50% off for 3 months. I don't care how long that line is. My kid doesn't go to daycare, but I'm just using that as an example because I was a kid that went to daycare. I'm sure my mom would be in that line like, ma'am, I need my voucher for my 50% off childcare. But when it happens in the market, we run because we don't understand that with a correction, it's typically a smaller percentage of a drop. But if we understand the psychology, we understand that it's only doing that because it has to correct itself to hit a new higher level. And so people are running because they think what they think about the stock market, right? They might have gotten burned with that one stock, you know, that they put so much into, but this goes back to proper diversification because you don't put all of your, you know, rent money in one stock, hoping that it goes up and you pull it out tomorrow. Because the truth is, if we really understand the stock market, that goes off of a company's performance. It's manipulated all day, every day. Just like when Elon Musk throws out this tweet that gets the masses hyped up. If I took any wise advice from a multimillionaire just in this space and in a lot of other things, does TV shows, runs a church, very amazing ministry. She said, when everybody's going left, I'm going right. I'm not going with the masses. My money is not one to play with what the masses are playing with. So I had to understand, okay, what's really happening in the market? But that's why I had to get access to people who could explain that to me, because from the outside looking in, if you don't know any better and you see a decline like that of 10 or 12%, that's normal. That's a correction. Now, if we look at an 80% drop, I mean, we're probably experiencing a crash, right? But it's not that, because even through some of these corrections, people are still experiencing gains because of when they got in the market. So we just got to get to a place where we understand what is a correction. And then statistically, if we look at other corrections, whether it's the stock market, crypto, because what's happening right now with crypto, we already knew last year at this same time that the same thing is going to happen this year, just in a different way because the value was a little different, right? We know that Bitcoin was not the price it was this year. When it tapped that $60,000 high, everybody was like, let's go to the beach. And then it dropped and they were like, guess we're going to be on the way to the laundromat. But the truth is, it's just doing the same thing at a different level because, again, it has to come down, correct itself to come back up. So if we look at other periods of time, whether it's the stock market, crypto, anything, when it's done a correction, statistically, if you look at the numbers, we've never stood in a what they call bearish trend, meaning staying downward. It's always come back up. It may take a little longer, right? Whether that's 2 extra weeks, a month, but it still always comes back up because when we talk about a trend, we're not looking at a week's worth of time. A trend could be looked at in hours, weeks, even a couple months. But overall, a lot of these cryptocurrencies that we talk about have still stayed in an upward trend, even while it's correcting right now. So hopefully that makes sense because a correction has to happen, right? I think about it like disciplining kids, y'all, right? Like if we got to break it down to the basics, you have to correct them so that in turn their behavior improves, and they don't always get it right the first time. So we may have to repeat it another time to get them and help them elevate to their next level. The market is the same, y'all. It has to correct to come back up to its next potential high. So hopefully that makes sense, man.
It makes, I don't know about anybody else, but I feel like I just went to church up in here. I think, you know, initially I set these up because I was like, you know, it can help a few people, but I always get off thinking, wow, I know so much more than I knew before I got on. Yeah, absolutely. That helped. And I think it helped for a lot of people. What I love about these sessions, Francis, is that it gives us an opportunity to break it down in layman's terms. You know, I call it the explain this to me like I'm 5 years old.
Right.
It's not that I don't consider myself intelligent. I do, but you know, sometimes you're going through things and your day, like, you know, I have, and I'll explain to you guys, but my husband wasn't feeling well yesterday. When he's not feeling well, then my day is usually off, and that means no sleep. So you wake up and there's no coffee that can kind of shake you up sometimes. But let's talk a little bit about is now a good time to be in the market. And then I'm just going to kind of go in a little bit more about what's happening in my own household. My husband, well, let me back up to, it feels like it's been forever. It's only been about 7 months. But 7 months ago, my husband and I moved back to the United States after living abroad full-time for 3 years and part-time for 3 years before then. It's about 6 years we had been traveling, and 3 years ago, we decided to move to Mexico and had this amazing life. And then in October of 2020, he was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. We decided to come back to the United States so that he could have treatment. In the middle of all this, people would say, well, why would you decide to start investing? Why would you decide to start a business? And that's where our next conversation is going to, is because this is the best time. You know, even through madness, even through craziness, even through health scares, even through the what if and we have no clue what's going to happen, we're still planning for our future. You know, I'm planning for my husband to be around for another 20, 30 years or however long we got. And so even though he's dealing with the health crisis right now, we know the type of lifestyle we love. We travel a lot. And I don't know the last vacation you've been on, but traveling ain't cheap. And so we want to be able to continue our lifestyle where we're able to travel first class, stay at the best places, eat the best food, have the best experiences. And that costs a little bit of change, which I'm okay with spending. But listen, there is nothing better for me. Of all the businesses I have done, and I have done it all. I've had brick and mortar businesses. I've run a real estate mortgage company. I've had a marketing company. I've done trading, which wasn't, you know, for me, it wasn't a good fit because it felt like Vegas and I like to gamble. So it didn't work for me. And I've done a ton of things and made a whole lot of money, but it was like when crypto came around, it was like a light shined down from above. I know this sounds dramatic, but it was like, we have been here waiting for you, because it spoke to me in a different language. And I was attracted to it. Like I joke about some of like Ethereum. I said, Ethereum is bae. And my husband would be like, really? And then he go, when he see those gains, he go, it is bae. He says, it's our bae. And now, so we share Ethereum, but it's just a different language. And I think part of that came from it being broken down to me in a way that I could understand it. It was broken down to me. I don't know if you guys have been on Kurt Cobain's, or if you're not part of our academy, you need to join just so that you can get access to this brother, because the training, it blows your mind. But he breaks it down to you the way I would break something down to my grandson. Like, you can't touch the stove because it's hot and you will get burned. Where somebody else may go, well, if you touch the stove, there are flames that are coming from it, that the molecules from the gas, and you're sitting there like, what the heck are you talking about?
That part.
You know, but he breaks it down and goes, if you touch the stove, you will get burned. That's how I read it. And because it was broken down to me in a way that I was able to digest it, I go, you know what? Maybe it's not that we don't know. Maybe it's that we don't understand. So what if we take this information that's being given to us and we break it down and we share it with the women in our community, and we say, listen, you don't have to have $1,000. You can put in 10. And what if that 10 make you 12? And you just let it sit there, and at the end of the year, you got 200. Will that make a difference in your life? You know, yeah. And I'll be very real. Francis and I had this conversation yesterday, and I think y'all early on, Coffee and Crypto met the nice me, but let's be real. When people tell me, oh, you know what, the education is so expensive, it's $200. I'm like, listen, I know some friends who spend way more than that on wigs, spend $80, $90 to go get their nails done. I am not knocking that. Don't get me there. What I'm saying is that if that's a priority to you, then it's not surprising if your situation is you're taking money from a paycheck or you don't have it to do. It's not surprising that you're in that situation. See, back in the day when I got started, let me stop before I start preaching. Listen, okay, I'm gonna do it anyway. Back in the day when I got started years ago, when I didn't have no money and there was no house, and I had just lost all my businesses, and I was bankrupt so bad to the point where collection companies were calling me and was like, we're gonna put it on your credit. And I was like, you could find a spot and go forward. Because that's how bad things were. I went from running multi-million-dollar companies to the market crash in 2008 and lost everything, all my investment properties, all my investments, the market crash. I was left with nothing. I went from making 6 figures plus every single month to having to go get food stamps because I couldn't afford to take care of myself, and nobody would hire me because I've been self-employed all my life. That's how bad it got. And I pawned stuff. I was like, I'm going back to being self-employed. I pawned stuff. I was like, I'll come up, listen, I got a 30-day window. I got time to go get my shit back. Okay. I got time, but I'm going to have to hustle. I don't have that luxury. There was no nail appointments. There were no hair appointments. There was no eating out. We hid one car so that we could make sure that we kept the other car. One car stayed in the garage at all times because we couldn't afford to pay for both of them. That's when you realize I need to do something new so I don't ever become this desperate again. So when people come and they say, well, this education is too expensive, I don't know if I can invest in crypto. I'm like, you guys must love that struggle life. You know, that must feel comfortable to you, because I would make whatever sacrifices it took to get into this academy. When I'm telling you that I put in X amount of dollars and it has now tripled in some of the investments tripled over the weekend, and you're still going, I don't know if this is for me. I don't know what else is for you then. And I tell people, if you're in a situation where struggling to get a couple $100s together is a problem, then you need to be doing something. If not this, then something else. But this is the easiest way, the simplest way, the less stress involved to get into an organization and around a group of women who honestly are kicking ass and taking names. You under normal circumstances, you would not get access to the caliber of women that we have in our community, that we have as mentors, that we have as coaches and trainers for $200 per month. And I can tell you, I've done high ticket coaching. I promise you, you never get access to me for $200 a month because my time is way too valuable. So I say all that to say, is now a good time. It's a good time for me. And my husband's fighting stage 4 cancer. I make the time when he's taking a nap. I schedule my events. I talk to people. I go in and I look at the markets. And I couldn't imagine if I had not taken this stance, and me and my husband had not made the decision a few months ago to get involved with this academy, where we would have been on the outside watching this market elevate. So hopefully that inspires somebody. I know that got slightly off a topic, but my hope is that you guys understand that regardless of what you're going through, there is somebody always going through something. And that doesn't mean that your life stops. That doesn't mean that you stop planning. That doesn't mean that you stop trying to educate and elevate yourself. You know, these sessions are really to empower you to get yours, because no disrespect to anyone, but Frances and I are going to get ours. I mean, whether you get yours or not, we plotting daily. And it's going to happen with or without you. I would love for everyone on here to come back a few more months from now and go, listen, we took your advice. I put all the bullshit to the side, and y'all excuse me for cussing, but we grown. But I put all the bullshit to the side, and I got serious about what I was doing. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna hold off doing this for a minute. I'm gonna hold off doing that for a minute. I'm gonna take that $200 or $300 and invest it every month, because we got the money, right? It's where are you allocating those funds? Where are the funds going? So it's not that you don't have the money to invest. Someone told me the other day they don't have money to invest, but then I saw that they had just went to a stylist and dyed their hair platinum blonde. Hello, I've done the blonde thing. That ain't cheap. You know, you talk. That's why I don't do it no more, because you're talking about $250 per session to go get your hair done. And I'm not knocking self-care. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you don't have money to invest in your future, then you should be looking at some of those things and going, maybe I can do this later, or maybe I can go get me a box of blonde or some hair dye from the store for $7. Or maybe it's me. I don't know. Maybe I look at things differently. But I tell you, there is joy that I have in the morning, waking up knowing that I'm secure for the rest of my life. You know, be that 5 years, 5 minutes, 50 years. And that when I leave, our kids are going to end up benefiting greatly because of the decisions that we're making right now. So I'm off my soapbox.
No, I love that, because the truth is we could sit here and teach you about the markets all day, right? We're not educators, but we just hope to empower our community because someone included us in this conversation. But the bigger truth is that 80% of all of this, just any wealth journey, is mindset. 80% of this whole thing is what do you think here, which translates to what's happening in your pockets. Because I was also once the person like, I refuse to experience this kind of struggle ever again with a capital E, right? And the truth is, something that Pam said, we all have the same amount of time. And it doesn't even come down to managing it. I talked about this on Facebook today too, because we all say, you know, well, I don't have the time. Well, listen, I had all the time in the world to be programmed to stay broke after a $70,000 education.
Hello.
So I better make the time, but it really just comes down to priority in everything, priority in the time, priority in what do you want next? Because again, we're programmed to accept minimum, but we already know what that feels like. And if it doesn't feel good, you've got to ask yourself, although this was my programming, which is not my fault, it is my fault if I stay there, because I could change the channel fast, but I have to make it a priority to do that. Right? So priority in, listen, I'm not telling you to not pay your bills, but wealthy people don't pay the bills first. They pay themselves first. And I don't mean like pay yourself, go buy the Gucci bag, and then you don't have any kind of asset that's really going to keep appreciating. There's nothing wrong with the Gucci bag, by the way. They are cute. But if everything else is not in order, then you have to say to yourself, okay, I'm still going to pay myself, but what does that look like? And that may look like something different now because you want to change the channel that you're programmed on. And you got to decide like when, and I tell people sometimes it doesn't hurt enough for you. We all have a different hurt enough level. And for me, I was hurt enough that I was breastfeeding a baby, and I had to leave her to go work a job that in turn had to lay me off because they had to make a business decision. That was my hurt enough moment, because the truth was, if I died the next day, what was I going to leave her? A 401k? Most people don't even understand how that's allocated. So it really comes down to, you got to change the channel, but you got to decide to make it a priority. Because like Pam said, we all have what I call life noise. For her, she's healing her husband and keeping him, right? For someone else, it might be the fact that they have 7 kids. For someone else, it might be they just lost their job and they don't have a way, so now they're looking. So it's not that what you're going through is not valid, but it's about you are stronger than you even think, but you got to make it a priority to change the channel. So I want to let Bobby speak, because I think her hand is up, and let her share, because this woman is an absolute powerhouse, and it's communities like this that bring us together for real. So go ahead, Ms. Bobby. You can unmute yourself, honey.
Good morning, sisters. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let me tell y'all something. I love y'all. I love y'all from the bottom of my heart, because as you know, this has never been a space for us. It has never. Like Raina Sakina said, you would think this type of space is for, and no shades, no harm, a middle-aged white man. It's always been their space. But let me tell you something. For the first time, we have the opportunity to have the floor. But let me tell you something. Pam, I love you from the bottom of my heart, honey. Let me tell you something. When you start talking, don't you never stop, because it's somebody needed to hear that story. Let me tell you something. I've been in this space probably like right at 3 years, right up on. Sakina called me right after, a little bit after she had got in. And let me tell you something. I sat on this. I sat on this because I went through a divorce. I sat on this until last November when they released the ECX. We was down in Hot Springs at a little convention with Randy and Wanda, Sakina, all of us. Let me tell you something. The event was in October. Take that back. October is when ECX was released. In November, I got back home. Honey, they diagnosed my son with cancer, with esophageal junction cancer. He is 21 years old. He's in the military. He's going to school to be a dentist. And let me tell you something. This space, I was in the right place, around the right people. And baby, when I tell you, our market has allowed me to, him being in the military, they told me that his surgery, if he has surgery, he can get out of the military and they will pay for it. He was to do an honorable discharge. Well, he's getting ready to graduate with his bachelor's this December. He'll start dental school this January in Alabama. We're here in Arkansas. So they told us, well, what they can do is an alternative solution. They can do the chemo and radiation pills, and it will cost $60,000. Who in their right mind just pull a $6,000 rabbit out their tail? Not us. So what they did is I prayed on it. I prayed and I said, Lord, I got to do something. And I got to do it fast because he didn't want to get out. So we did the little GoFundMe, you know, and little friends and family put in a little bit, and we're thankful. But let me tell you something, what this academy has done for me. Baby, I cashed out $15,000. Cashed it out. And I'm not saying to brag. I cashed out 15. We had the other 4. We dropped these people $20,000. Paid for his sessions. My son, God is good all the time, and all the time he is good. Woo! So Pam, you keep your head up, baby. We always prayer warriors, and we gonna fight. We gonna pray, baby. We're gonna get through this.
Let's go.
Because this too shall pass. And so let me tell you something. He is now cancer free. He just had his gallbladder done last week. He is all right. He's getting ready to graduate. Everything is on schedule because our God is on time all the time. And then I turned around. I went back in this market with a little bit of some. And here last week, I cashed out 10,000 again. And I'm back up to 13,000. So you're not going to tell me what I Am Master Academy will not do for our families. So I'm like China Bethany. You will not talk about the business that pays me and takes care of me and my family. We are in the right place at the right space and surrounded by the right people. And we are prayer warriors for you, Pam, baby. We got you, sister. We got you.
I need a mic. I'm gonna buy me a plastic mic because
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, baby. So don't you never, ever apologize for being in your soapbox. Because you don't know your story touched all of us up in here. And baby, you created a community of prayer warriors. That's what you did. So don't you never apologize. When the spirit get in your mouth and get in your belly and he tell you the words need to roll out, you better roll them out and keep it rolling. And we got to get on this Zoom and start a new Zoom. We're going to drink coffee to midnight if we have to. Baby, you keep talking because we all needed that this morning.
Yes.
And thank you.
And
thank
you.
Girl, I was all over there on Instagram telling Francis, I need this code. I need to get in here this morning. I love y'all, sisters, and thank y'all.
We love you, Bobby.
We needed
thank
that.
you. Listen.
Yes, ma'am.
Woo. Like Dr. China said, and Pam, I'm gonna give it back to you. But Dr. China said, like Bobby said, you ain't gonna talk about the business that pays me and does miracles like what just happened in Bobby's life and her son's life. Not only that, she said one powerful thing in Dallas, and I said I'm coming for everything because she said, listen, I'm not here trying to step on anybody's toes, but honey, you better move your feet because we coming. Period. Pam. I'm done. Look, listen, I don't got a mic, but I got a charger.
Yeah, I'm over here. Let's find. We're gonna drop vitamins. I got me some lipstick. We're gonna drop it all. Bobby, you are a blessing. You don't know. I needed to hear those words. We over here and some days, and I'm a big crier. Some days we do okay. Other days we struggling through it. But I know my husband is being healed. He's going through the process. And when you have those bad days, it make you like, oh Lord, but then, we still planning. We got tickets to go to Atlanta to super VIP.
Let's go.
And we will be in Atlanta next month for the I Am Academy training, for the ceremonies, for the love, for the hug ups, for the crying, for the meet and everything. But I've been a business coach for 25 years, working with women. And I've taken some time off several times because I've gotten burnt out because I get so passionate about what I do. And I have this ability to see in other people sometimes what they can't see in themselves. And I can see so much for them and want so much for them. And it's frustrating, even when they've paid you substantial amount of money, to see that they don't have the ability to step it up a notch. And last year, I gained a lot of weight dealing with all of the stress that we had going on. And I got a call from Wanda Webb maybe about a month ago. And it was just out the blue, like, hey girl, what you doing? I'm about to call you. And I was like, okay. What's this about? And she spoke life back into me, because for a while I had forgotten that my words have power. I'm 50, about to go 51, and I forgot that people still want to hear what I gotta say. And for a minute I had started playing I wouldn't say small because I always had big ambitions, but I played comfortable. I played a very comfortable game. Like, well, it might take me a little longer to get where I want to go, but I'm okay with that. And when I got off the phone with Wanda and she challenged me in ways and very positive, but if any of you guys know Wanda, y'all know that she basically got in my butt. Like, what's your issue? What's the problem? So you just gonna sit on this. You're not gonna do nothing with it. So that's how we doing now, you know. And it made me go, you know, she basically is saying to me what I've been saying to other women for years. Just because life ain't perfect right now doesn't mean that you can't step into your greatness. Doesn't mean that you can't do what you were called to do. Maybe it's in a different package. Maybe it looks differently than you want it to be, but the message is still the same. And so when we decided to start these sessions, we just really felt like we could empower you guys to say, you know what? Everybody that's out here doing this is not, you know, you don't have to be the sharpest crayon in the pack. I've been self-employed for 27 years now, and I don't have a college degree, and I haven't had a job all of my adult life. And it's because I step out on faith, I take action, and I don't make excuses. Even when life is giving me the worst hand, I still gotta go for it. And so, and I thank Wanda for that call. I was getting daily messages from Frances and Lucy, just like, you know, keep doing it, keep doing it. And I don't think they realized at that time how much those messages were needed because, you know, when you feel like your world is falling apart, it's hard to focus on, let me go make my next million. But the reality is this community has been, I needed it more than it needed me. And my husband, when we got off our session last night, he said, it sounded like you were just talking to a bunch of friends. You know, and that's what it really feels like. So I hope through my struggle and through everything that I have going on, that it encourages you ladies to do what you need to do. God, I'm going to do the ugly cry. To do what you need to do in order to get your life where you want to be. And that's just real talk. And I promise I won't keep crying on every session. But it means something to me that it matters to you guys.
So. Yes. And girl, cleanse, honey, that is cleansing. Because the truth is, you know, and she said one powerful thing, y'all, about excuses. They only sound good to us because we're the ones making them, right? And even you heard her, like you heard Bobby, even, you know, I always say when we think, and this is like, you know, an art of practice that you really have to practice intentionally, is when you're going through that hard stuff, to practice gratitude, because then for a second you realize like, man, someone that probably went through the same thing ended off worse off than we are right now. Mm-hmm. So let's focus on the good that we still can hang on to, because, you know, God doesn't cause suffering on purpose, but like her suffering is for the world to hear this message. Like, I don't know if y'all hear the class and the poise that I hear when Pam talks, and she's so unapologetic, because the truth is, you're here to do something. And so we can make all the excuses all day, but they only sound good to you when you recite them because they're your excuses. But they don't sound good to someone else like a Pam or Bobby, or someone that sees so much in you that we know you have, but you got to be the one to decide, okay, while my excuses may be valid, they're not going to work, right? And so we just want to encourage you, like Pam said, you know, the craziest thing about this community is, like she said, I needed it more than it needed me. You know, it was funny because in Dallas, and I just love, I call, like Sakina says, my family now, right? Like your friends that really turn into family. I talk to y'all more than I talk to my own sisters, you know, and they live in different states. And still I find myself here because I'm around a group of like-minded people that know, like, hey, despite of what we're going through, I need you to check me when I'm falling off, or when my excuses sound really good because I feel like I'm hurting, for you to say that's valid, but sis, somebody needs you to tell that story from corporate to stay-at-home mom, that you don't have to worry about who's, you know, taking care of your child. Or the fact that when I call Wanda, sometimes we're meant to talk about business, but instead she's praying for my family. Like, I needed that more than, you know, in Dallas when everybody was like, girl, you're like the biggest hype man and cheerleader I've ever met on social media. I don't care about that part, because what they don't know is that I needed them more than they needed my presence or my energy, you know. And for people to say, why not you? That's the biggest piece about this access for me. Because let's talk about access, right? You hear us talking about the academy and what is this? By the way, every single piece of crypto I just shared is regurgitated from the education I received. Because y'all, 7 months ago, I thought it was foo-foo money. I come from banking. So I was the Latin woman trying to compete with a 35-year-old, no shade, like Bobby said, Caucasian men that felt like they were superior because I was a woman, because both of my parents are from an island. And so I felt like that was always a conversation that we were having, although it shouldn't have been a conversation, because I'm coming to the table even with more education some of the times, right? But the truth was I couldn't interpret this conversation. And so what you hear, I want you to know that this is why it's possible for you, because I couldn't have this type of conversation before. I was telling you about traditional investments that are going to pay you less than 1% a year. That's not attractive, by the way. Crypto is embarrassing the banks. So just know that it's possible for you. But when we talk about access, our problem as humans is that we tend to go to the same people that have our same problem, hoping that they can give us an answer. They don't have it. They love you. They care about you. What they tell you to do and not to do is not, you know, sometimes it's for selfish gain, but really most of the time it's because they care about you and they don't want you to get hurt. But the truth is they don't really understand what kind of advice they're giving some of the time, because we're going to them for an answer that they truly, really just don't have. And so when I had to ask myself, what am I going to do different? Like what, you know, every year we say, it's our year, right? It's our year. January, we're planning all this fancy stuff out, but then none of our behavior changes. None of the circle of people that we're around elevates. And so we're in cages. We're not in circles. We're in cages. And we find ourselves come August, the year is about to start wrapping up, last quarter. And we're like, dang, we've literally just done the same thing this whole year, but I thought this year was going to be different, right? And if it was 2020, you were really probably smacked up a little bit because everything changed, but still was still kind of like everything changed, but there hasn't been any progress for me, because I felt like that for a lot of 2020 before I came into this community. And the access that I needed was a group of people to say, what's wrong with you accepting minimum? I don't know what your spiritual beliefs are. I'm not here to debate them, but I believe in the creator, my God, right? So when they look at you like Pam said, in the nicest, loving way, check me, because you're not here to settle for that. You're not. And the access for me was $199, which is a priority for whatever you're using it for in another way, shape, or form, right? Maybe it's out to eat. Maybe it's whatever it is. We're not here to judge. We're just here to keep it real. So for me, I had to decide, I cannot tell you the last time I got my nails or my toes done. Right now, I do nail polish from Target with the $3 clear coat. Not because I can't go get the nails done now, but because when I first got started, I understood if my daughter needs to have a radically different life, I've got to do radically different things. And that means I'm not going to go do the $50. And it's not that I can't do self-care, but guess what? I would rather do some self-care in my prayer room, asking God to point me wherever he needs me to go. That's self-care for me. It doesn't have to be the physical things. And so guess what? If a man don't find me cute and he's in this house because I don't get my nails and my toes done, well then, bro, you might have to pack it up and go. I'm going to just keep it honest. Because my God says I'm beautiful, whether my hair's jacked up today or my nails are chipped up. And the bigger truth is my daughter's counting on me to not leave a bad legacy, because just like we can leave good ones, we can leave really bad ones. And unfortunately, half of us, seven out of every 10 people, are left with some pretty bad legacies. They don't really know things about their grandparents, but that's because they didn't have anything to leave them. And this is not just a money conversation. This is just like true wealth, right? Whether it be physical money or assets or impact that they left for us to know them for that. But typically you want to know something, impact came with sharing something important to the masses, right? And so when we think about impact, I think too many times we tie it directly to the amount of money. But the truth is, in 2021, if you cannot write the check, the impact is going to look very different. because our world has too many needs that need to be fulfilled for us to not come out here and make some more money to help make it happen. So I paid $199, understanding that this was an investment. I was about to unlock access to elite education. We teach a lot of different things, but crypto is a hot topic right now, as it should be. And I understood that investments yield me something in return. So then it was my job to pick up my side of the work and get into the tool that's already helping 350,000 people. So I don't know about you, when you have a community that's asking you, why not you? You've got to tell yourself, I surely have got to be smarter than at least one of these 350,000 people. If they can do it, why not me? And that's all it took. But little did I know that that was going to come with people, like Pam said, who are just randomly speaking life into you because they know what the needs are out here, but they also know that you have something inside of you that other people need. And I heard Curtis Cobain say this, and then I'll let you take it back over, Pam. He said, someone is only going to partner with this community because you told them about it. Bobby's amazing. She's locking down the whole state of Arkansas. Y'all better not get it twisted, okay? Pam, phenomenal. People need her voice. But the truth is that if you're on here and you're listening to this and there are things that you're passionate about, maybe it's the fact that there are kids at school who don't have enough lunch money. Maybe it's the fact that sometimes when the weather drops to 10 degrees and every kid got a coat on, there's those 2 or 3 kids at your kid's school that are wearing a long sleeve shirt. Hello, it doesn't take a rocket science to know they don't have a coat. Maybe it's that. That's what I care about. So we want to look at all these things sometimes like, oh, the election and the president, and he's not doing nothing and unemployment's going away. The truth is neither one of them are coming to your door to say, hey, and especially my minorities on here, hey, we're here to help out. What do you guys need? No, they're both on the golf course with each other, chilling. Because the truth is it's our responsibility to help those kids at our kids' school, because Joe Biden and Donald Trump ain't coming to do it. So when we can figure out what do we care about, what am I going to prioritize, and actually do something about the things we say we're going to do, then things will change. But you can't say, oh, you know, I really, this is just so sad. And what's happening to you know, like the Palestinians right now is heartbreaking, but you're doing zero to try to contribute anything positive. We got to get real. We got to get really real. So now I'm done, Pam. I'm going to let you take it away, because when we talk about access, we're talking about $199. Nothing to lose and everything to gain, because I spent $199 on them shoes for Latin night that the pandemic smacked me up and then I couldn't go. So I sat down real quick.
Well, I can tell you that my little addiction is Trader Joe's. As a matter of fact, I ran it this morning because that's my other boo. And I spent about $100 there. And I say this to people when they say, oh, well, you got the money. Let me tell you, there's been a whole lot more struggle and heartache going into getting to this point than you can even imagine. But it all came from a place of sacrifice. You know, we sacrificed things. When we moved out of the country, we sold everything that we had, but we made sacrifices before we did all that to save up, to be in a position to be able to live life on our terms. And now is no different. The game has changed slightly, which is why we're back in the United States, but our love for travel still exists. So we may be temporarily grounded, but we still gonna fly. And during this time, I said, what not a better time to learn how to do this? And I'll be honest with y'all, over the weekend, we made somebody's salary for about 5 or 6 months over a tip that I was given from one of my 8-figure mentors. It was a very quick tip. It was just you couldn't even conversate with him. It was just like hey, you need to buy this and do this. And I got it and I looked at it, and normally I don't act that quick, but one of the things that I've learned, and money loves speed. I've always known that. But this particular time, for some reason, and normally I have these conversations with my husband because I've been slowly moving a lot of our investments over to crypto. And I was like, okay, well, he's not feeling good today. Let me kind of tiptoe in this. But then I showed him the stuff and he was like, buy it, because he's involved. And so we bought a lot of Ethereum and a bunch of Litecoin And the next morning we woke up, and normally I look at my phone when I wake up because that's like my happy space, and look and see, oh, how much did I make overnight? And I looked and I had to get up, sit up. I was like, what in the world just happened? And we were up like $600 or $700 per token, per Ethereum. Now, you don't have to be the smartest person in the room. I'm gonna break it down to you real slow. It's like if you went to the store and you bought something for $1, and then the next day you see it's worth $10, and you bought 10 of them, you like, I can make $99 on each one if I sell them. Or I can hold them and see if they go up to $15. That's what happened. That's it. It's that simple. We have taken all of the conspiracy theorists out. We've taken all of the mask, the shield, the smoke. That's how it is. And that one little small decision, and there have been several of them. Basically, we could go and buy us a nice little Honda with what we made. Now, for somebody else, maybe you only put in 500. Well, you just made 500 back. And it's not gambling, because at any given time, you could take your money out. So it's life-changing in the sense that I know my kids now have this skill, because once I found out, I shared it with them. And it's life-changing for everyone who's willing to listen, because you have a whole lot of people that's still like, she trying to sell me something. No, I'm trying to bless you. Let's get it real. You know, it costs something, but you have no idea what you're about to be blessed with. But I'm not here to convince anyone. What I will tell you is that we have made a substantial amount of money in a very short period of time. I would gladly pay that $200 over and over again, because the truth is, the first day I made 10 times that back with the first tip that I got, not even knowing what I was doing. So if any of you guys are out here and you're not involved in our community, shame on you. Let me just say it. Go figure it out. Go donate plasma. Get rid of that 65-inch screen TV you got for 30 days. Stop making excuses. Get involved. And most importantly, get involved with this community that will love on you, that will challenge you, that will inspire you, that will encourage you, that will empower you. And realistically, unless you do it yourself, won't let you fail. This is just about showing up. We have several of our team members on here, and they're just like, I'm showing up to everything. They're going to speak life into me some kind of way. They're going to encourage me. And I need that in my life. And truthfully, these sessions are great for me because it was a bad day and I needed it. Even if my words inspired someone else, I needed the words and the energy that you guys gave to me. So as Francis said, it's a very small investment, an investment that will change your life, the life of your kids, the life of your family, and anyone who will take the time to listen to you and allow you to pour into them and share with them. The Academy has been amazing. Everything that I've learned and everything that we share on this session has all come from that. I just can't even put words into it, but it's not just the training that you're going to get. It's access to people who you have no idea have changed my life. Some of them I have not even personally talked to, and they've changed my life in such a way that even if this all went away tomorrow, I'm set for life, and so are my kids. So I want to thank you guys so much. We went a little bit over. Thank you for Francis for always chiming in and keeping it real. It's been a blessing. It's always a blessing to be on here with you ladies, but just thank you guys for listening to us, for watching me do the ugly cry. And thank you for Bobby for sharing me and You Need to Connect, lady. You guys have a wonderful day, wonderful afternoon. Get back in touch with the person who brought you to this dance and let them know you want to dance some more. Have a great, great weekend. Happy Memorial Day. And we'll talk to you guys again on Tuesday. Take care. God bless.
Thank you, Pam. Thank you, Bobby. Thanks, everyone. Bye.